Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, a best of 5 ESL Cup Finals, Protoss versus Terran. And I'm incredibly excited to introduce a man who said he was stepping back from StarCraft 2, who said that maybe he wasn't going to focus on the game as much, he was going to focus on other things. But instead of taking a full step back, he decided to take 2 steps forward. He joined a team with Maru. He is the most accomplished player from the United States of America. And he's looking stronger than ever. From the great state of New York, I give you Neeb. Neeb has, it really did feel like he was falling off. He didn't do great in the World Championship. He dropped out, I believe, in the group stage quite easily. He kind of lost a lot of motivation with the game. But he's joined Onside Gaming with Maru and Crank, the Korean community caster. And he's put up more results in the last year than he has since his year of 3 WCS championships. And he's finally here to defend the ESL NA Open Cup. So I'm looking forward to that. But a regular of this North American Open Cup, and all of them, usually tries to go for the Triple Crown. Sometimes he looks like he might win all 3 every week. And one of the most exciting Terran players in all of StarCraft 2 history. The former world champion and the heart of all Terrans, I give you ByuN. The man who got Reaper's nerfed twice because he was just too good with him. Explicitly him. The man who still relies on Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, Mines, and Micro to get him across the finish line. For better or worse. We're here on Tropical Sacrifice. We're on the new map pool. 7 new maps. Starting actually as of last week. But will be played in DreamHack and other tournaments coming up. And on the ladder very soon. Bobby, get on that. But here we go. ByuN, with his very typical commitment to the 3 racks. The 3 racks has come back strong. Widowmine drops are becoming a rarity. Other more defensive 1-1-1 options, Barracks Factory, Starport, have kind of dropped off as well. In favor of the sheer pressure you're able to exert with this classic bio army. ByuN was going to be Stim right off the bat. There's an Oracle for Neeb. The safest choice, the Stargate. He actually completed, I love this. He completed the Shade, and ByuN had placed everything back. The Shade can't see it, because the Shade, it's a Shade, alright? It doesn't have as much vision. But he completed the Shade into a recall, as he understands that it's unlikely the recall will be needed again in the very near future, and he needs to know what's up the ramp. A lot of players have been cheeky with this. They've put just enough space between like the barracks, the tech labs, and the ramp to try to hide it. But Neeb, understanding that, and remember, Neeb's teammate is Maru. I'm not sure how much they practice. There's quite a distance between the servers and all that. But if there was someone who understands Terran, well, it's Maru. I was trying to come up with a clever no, it's Maru. Maru is the best Terran. There's no question about that. There's no doubt about that right now. Every now and again, he kind of stutters, but consistently Maru is the best. ByuN is incredibly good, but his inconsistency and kind of his stylistic commitment to these bio armies is usually great and incredibly fun to watch, but leaves him a little more shallow when it comes to the strategies, and easier to directly counter. And speaking of directly counter, Neeb with 2 base Colossus. He jumped off the tech tree for Stargate onto the RoboBay. He skipped a third Nexus. He's just making sure that he can defend this early. Bio Army, Adepts scouting out both sides. The Bio Army moving out. The Oracle also, of course, Revelation. Revelation able to keep tabs on the Bio. And honestly, without Medivacs, ByuN gonna have... You're not coming up this round. He's got 2 Immortals. He's taking it real serious here. Neeb has historically been one of the best shield toss. The Protoss players, the stats-esque defensive Protoss, who focus on calmly expanding and being at least a half step ahead on tech and maintaining that advantage. And right now, Neeb is taking this incredibly seriously. If ByuN attacks, he will die. These units are designed to kill. Even ByuN's Marines are not going to be able to deal with those thermal lances. In fact, I think Neeb is kind of trying to bait him. If you can get a stim out of him, especially before the Medivacs come out, well, that's permanent damage. Oh, but ByuN has picked up into the Medivacs, and ByuN is headed to the main. But Neeb is prepared. Neeb has watched ByuN once or twice before. The main base already has a Colossus and an Immortal. Meanwhile, a Colossus and an Immortal. The tag team duo. And also the gateway units, but mostly the Colossus and an Immortal. Extended thermal lance on the way. Neeb rotates his shield to defend both places. And holds. He did Reaper Wall. Wow, it's a 3-building Reaper Wall, which actually makes 3 buildings pretty intensely vulnerable. That Colossus trying to find an angle finally does. ByuN slurps him up. Bio Army, 120 supply here for ByuN. He's taking a 3rd command center on the low ground. Neeb is adding in Blink. Oh my god. He did not tag the Medivacs, but there's a conspicuous lack of them. ByuN picks up, heads to the north. Meanwhile, another pickup, the double-double, with some Bio Army in the middle. Neeb understands the lack of information can be information in and of itself. Rotating to defend. Oh, but he pulled out of position at the 3rd. He was trying to cover all his bases and left some gaps in the armor. Meanwhile, oh, wow. 13 probes down. ByuN trying to outmaneuver, and Neeb actually getting caught off guard. That's the problem with this kind of bare-bones defense, is it doesn't take much. Meanwhile, oh, wow, ByuN into the main, into the natural, into the 3rd. 1, 2, 3, force fields. Neeb trying to scramble to defend the button. Drop in the main, shut down. All the units slaughtered. Another drop on top of the Colossus. The force field zone out. More Colossi coming in. Recall onto the 3rd. Warps another Colossus into the fray. Blink is done in 0 seconds. Doesn't use it in time to gun down the Medivacs, but Neeb, he rotates to defend, and he's able to keep 55 probes, and he catches a Medivac on the way out. Okay, that makes things a little more even, but ByuN, in typical ByuN fashion, when it looks like there's no way to get damage done, Neeb's prepared for everything. What are you gonna do? There are Colossi in every base. He just keeps spinning the Medivacs around until he finds an angle. Neeb acquitted himself pretty well at the end of that. He was able to pick up the Medivac. The recall, I love the recalls, by the way. The recall onto the 3rd from the main. Recall is a long cooldown, but it's not so long you need to hold on to it for like an ultimate ability. Just a couple minutes on it means that, well, Neeb knows he's probably just going to spend some time sitting back and defending. And I think that recall plus the Medivac snipe has allowed Neeb to feel a little more comfortable with sitting back and rebuilding. A lot of Protoss feel obligated or inspired to counterattack after something like that. Like you know that he did some damage. That was a lot of... How many probes? 18 probes died. And it wasn't like the units got away free either. But Neeb sitting back and is going to let ByuN give it another shot. Comfortable that he can build a better unit composition as time goes on. Then ByuN can manage to defeat, especially with just basic bio. Oh, the blink. Tropical Sacrifice is a very nice 4-base defensive map, all on the same platform, very Cloud Kingdom-esque. One of the few map formats we focus on. ByuN with a lot of bio. He's mixed the Ghosts in. Vikings as well. ByuN just so casual with the Ghosts. I comment on this every time, but it's worth commenting on every time in my opinion, because a lot of players treat Ghosts as this, like, special, okay, ByuN is of the philosophy that if Blizzard isn't going to give Ghosts special treatment, okay, well then, he's not either. He's just going to jam them with the rest of the bio army. They're not that expensive, and they're also pretty great at fighting straight up, especially against Charizards, let alone the EMP. And speaking of the EMP, no enhanced shockwaves, but the danger balls are out. They don't care very much if you drain their energy, because they don't have any. Zoning out. No Liberators right now, so nothing to easily deal with the Disruptors. Just gonna have to micro it out. By the way, Neeb, 5 Ruptors. It hasn't been that long since Drop a Clock. But Neeb has managed to pump out 5 Disruptors. He didn't build any more Colossi. He just correctly assumed that ByuN would be ready for it. But ByuN right now, he has +2/+2. Neeb is pretty far off in those upgrades. Neeb needs the splash damage. He needs it. Meanwhile, extended thermal lands. Disruptor clips some. Another shot. Misses the mark. Another shot following through. Force field, good. Zoning out. Force fields the bio army, but there's not much reliable splash damage. The Terran army is looking pretty dicey here, but a big shot center mass. Looking for more. Another shot. Fading through. Medivacs low on energy. Disruptors wandering and target fire good. Disruptor targeted down. ByuN in the fray. Able to control the chaos. But with the Medivacs low on energy, the unit's overstimmed. Neeb is on the chase. The sands coated red with the blood of bio. The Stalker's trying to come up a ramp, which is a horrible idea, but the Disruptors, how many Disruptors? He's just able to pump them out. How many Robos does he have? Double Robo, but probably like a permanent Chrono. The Colossus, ByuN actually getting stuck on his own depots here momentarily. Scan sees the army. There's no Liberators. There's nothing to directly deal with these Ruptors. Neeb has so many 9 Disruptors. Ridiculous. You can't dodge. You can't dodge the whole map. Oh, a shot. What are you gonna do? Who are you gonna call? Well, Neeb he's not slowing down. He's continuing to build them. If ByuN will refuse to build Liberators or tanks, why would you stop building the Disruptors? They're a pretty direct counter to this army as long as you have enough ground to zone out the rest. Some charge lots heading in towards the third. Neeb chasing down, flinging out the Purification Novas, anything. There's no time to look away as soon as he does. Half a dozen Marauders take the wrong path. Shaved off. Neeb has held the line. He's pushed it across the map. And now, he's putting a punctuation mark on the end. Flinging out more Purification Novas. Dodge this, ByuN. Neeb takes game 1. Well, ByuN sticking to his bio-based unit composition and dying with it. Neeb had no hesitation. He knew what he needed. It is this decisive I love to see it. It's kind of like a decisive defense. Almost an opposite of our late-grade Zest. Instead of attacking so dramatically and using all these tools, but instead defending decisively. All right, Jimmy. Game 2. Yeah, I know nothing's happening. Run inside and out. A Song of Ice and Fire. This map. It's quite a small map. Not that many bases. You've only got about 6 per side. 12 total. Rush distance relatively small. So, can we put some points on it? Jimmy? Thank you. That is the kind of aggressive defensive Protoss that Neeb, that has had Neeb looking like a champion in the past. Willing to sit back and defend, but not hesitating to counterattack when needed. Because at some point, especially against someone like ByuN, it's not necessarily about trading punches. It's about throwing the last one. ByuN constantly up in your face, throwing jabs at you, looking to see what'll stick. And Neeb, honestly, he almost cracked there under the pressure. But he held it together, composed himself, composed a very dangerous army, and closed it out. So ByuN has 2 gas here in game 2. He pulls off a one, but it's quick factory. I will say the bio army, it seemed like Neeb had a great grasp on how to deal with it. The real commitment, by the way, like, even though I think maybe he could have taken a third, he possibly could have gotten away with it, especially if ByuN was a little wary of the robo units. He just sat back and made sure he had a Colossus before moving out. Now, you do run the risk of ceding map control. You don't, and honestly, that is kind of what happened. ByuN was able to run around in circles, or fly around in circles more accurately, and do some damage. But didn't quite have the army he needed to deal with the follow-up. Neeb, what are you doing in that corner over there? There's a probe in the corner. I'll have to see. Reaper. No Reaper wall here. I don't know. Yeah, there's a huge amount of areas you can jump in, so it's like Neeb has decided here on inside and out. Not time to... Oh, citizen! Stop right there, Crip. What? What? That was a roller coaster. Okay. Well, I was thrown off by the drama of that chase. What? Double Cyclone. It's an Oracle again from Neeb, by the way. Cyclones are a strong, potentially aggressive opener against Stargate. They can help pressure, especially quick third bases, stuff like that. Right now, ByuN is patrolling for a Stargate unit, and his foresight will pay off. Neeb was thinking about trying to go to that high ground. Oh, by that much. ByuN was in the right spot at the right time. It's just Oracles are a bit too fast. Tactic boys? No Tactic boys coming out, but Neeb, once again, not. This is a ramp. It is kind of from a weird angle, so it looks a little off, but... Chasing down one Cyclone, but I think Neeb is correctly suspicious. It's not going to be just one Cyclone. Nobody moves out with one Cyclone. That's obviously a terrible idea. Yeah, 2 Cyclones revealed. Remember, Neeb saw the double gas. So he knows that this is not just like one Cyclone and playing nice and safe. Well, Oracle goes down, but Neeb maneuvers in. Lock-on does not hit the Oracle. The rest of the units are cleaned up. 1 Oracle, a Zealot, and an Adept for 2 clones, 8 Marines, and the Reaper. Actually, the Reaper died earlier on. That was, but still a costly fight for ByuN. Not getting the better end of this semi-mind game here. Oh, there's no bunker. It's just SCVs. Wait, there's no anti-air. Okay. Does Neeb just win? The bunker might... Yeah, well... When I say not getting the better end of this mind game... Well... So he just dies. So sometimes, I mean, if you commit to 2 Cyclones and then don't have a bunker, I don't know what I expected. I think Neeb has to be a little bit surprised, like, oh, he just dies then, eh? Okay. All right. Well, Neeb is now a match point against ByuN. And honestly, it's not looking particularly close. Jimmy? Thank you. I want to take this time. Thank you to Dave Testa for sending me and recommending these games. Check him out. Dave Testa on Twitch. Usually casting things live. and putting on some of his own tournaments. And also, ESL for taking the initiative and giving us these new maps. We're on Data C. You've seen this a few times now. Beautiful map. Love it. It's our obligatory and our wanted underwater map. Looks incredible. Units float up when they die if they get hit hard enough. It does depend on like certain physics calculations, all that. I love it. Also, a bit. It's mostly standard. Most maps are mostly standard, though there are a few like pocket-based maps in the pool for this upcoming season. But this one, the standouts are the rich Vespine bases in the corners. And overall, just expanding towards the sides. I was collecting my thoughts and wasn't able to put them together. But because there aren't too many bases in the center, this does lead somewhat to more base tradey scenarios. As to defend one side of the map kind of puts you out of position to defend the other. Of course, with recall and just how fast units can be, it's usually not a huge deal, but it does lead a little more to those base tradey scenarios. I think we already saw that somewhat in Scarlett versus ByuN in last week's ESL Open Cup on this map. Neeb is committed. I mean, it is ByuN, so I can't really fault him for the Reaper Wall. If there was anyone to Reaper Wall against, looks like he decided on inside and out. There's just too much space to do so. But ByuN sending the Reaper up. Stalker on its way down. He did Chrono boost it out, and he's able to match the timing. And the Reaper had to go all the way around. Factory. Starport for ByuN. I'd love to see... Well, I don't know what I'd love to see. Honestly, Neeb... Oh my god. Okay. I'm very glad ByuN... So, there is a trick to popping the Reaper past the wall. I think, like, if the gateway's set up a certain way, or there's, like, this, like, certain corner... The only person I've seen correctly figure out, like, exactly when you can bounce the Reaper over a corner is Maru. And I think you have to have it, like, jammed up where there's no collision or something. ByuN gave it a shot, but occasionally I will try to do that. And I'm like, I don't know, is it magic? And I think for most players that aren't Maru, it is magic. Okay? That's what it is. Sometimes the winds of magic, if they're whimsical enough, then your Reaper can get to the base. But if not, well, too bad. So this is some pretty active scanning. By the way, this is not a real Phoenix, obviously. ByuN will know that as well, but that doesn't mean it's not annoying. It is Stargate. Oh my god! The bait and switch! Oh, I love it. I love it. This one's real. This one's real. ByuN, it's taken to... He's like, oh my god. Oh, what is this? What are you doing? Neeb, what? No, wait, what? No, is he just gonna get the medevac? What? ByuN just bamboozled to such a... He went for a trial run. All right, he's like, you know what, Phoenix is... Yeah, they seem like a pretty good idea. Wow. I think ByuN just... He didn't react. It's not like he didn't notice. Wow, what a Pavlovian sort of situation. Because Neeb kind of trained ByuN not to panic when he saw Phoenix attacking his medevac. Because it's hallucinated. And then he came in with another Phoenix. Oh my god. I want to know how many times that's actually worked before. Alright, is that just a happy little accident? Speaking of, oh, wow, what a reaction. He dodged the mine. Oh, Neeb. Okay. For someone who said they were going to take a step back, maybe, honestly, I think sometimes we all just need a break. Neeb has had a lot of pressure on him, like, because when you win 3 WCS championships in 1 year, it's hard to top that. So there was a lot of pressure on Neeb to kind of live up to that. And I think it was kind of self-defeating because it makes it very hard to continue to stay motivated. Even if you're playing really well, it's very hard to repeat that sort of accomplishment. So I think Neeb, he kind of said, you know what, I'm taking a step back, I'm chilling. Maybe got back to actually enjoying the game. And after some time, well, here we are. Like, looking probably better than he ever has, especially considering how long it's been since those WCS days. The Phoenixes are just toying with ByuN right now. Nice Widow Mine placement, well hidden behind that starport. Some heavy bruising. Oh, what? He fell for it twice. Or, I don't know if that second was that. I didn't see it either. And I have observer cam. Oh, he tries to break the luck. Okay, this has gone from Neeb just running and flying circles around ByuN to... he's got +1 armor for the charge knots. He's got charge. Well, this is quite a dangerous army. He's got a Raven with near max energy. Is there a Templar to potentially feedback it? No. Anti-armor missile will connect, but only on the Phoenixes. Archon charge laps on the back. Auto turrets though. The bio ball, only an Archon for splash damage here. Picks up, chops through the auto turrets. The Archon is doing terrible damage. ByuN forced to pick up and go into the main, but this pylon is looking mighty vulnerable right now. Not able to take it down. He's actually using it against Neeb here. Shield battery overcharge was used at the third, funneling Neeb through a prison of his own design, but there's just not enough DPS from that bio army. Not enough to grind through. Though I don't know if retreat is an incredibly great option as the Phoenixes chase down the medevacs. ByuN picks up and heads right back towards the main, but not so much as a strategic as a move of desperation. Gonna find some probes though. 1, and 2 Phoenixes. Okay, never mind. So the afterthought drop is the one that ends up doing the most damage, of course. 6 probes, couple Phoenixes, but the counterattack Neeb swings back. There's just not that many units over here. Neeb, how many gates? He's warping in again. Get him, Warpius. Force field, pins him up against it. The charge lot's going to work. Widow Mine hits both sides. Picks up another one. Archon knocking it down. Or is it? Archon is like, what is the sentry gonna kill it? Neeb is swinging in towards the natural. ByuN just doesn't really have an army. +1 armor finishing. Wait, did the third command? Yeah, the command center just straight up died. Neeb just kind of realized, oh, wait a second. You're gonna need units, ByuN. Pro tip, no problem, I got you. There's no real saving grace here for ByuN, like... He is barely holding the line, and only because the Sim City here, the building setup, is good enough that these relatively clunky near melee units can't get through. But ByuN can't really afford... Oh, Neeb at the watchtower. The corner watchtower flown right over by the medevacs. Neeb definitely saw that. Phoenix is moving to intercept. They will be there, and he can potentially pick up those mines if he's on point. All right, gets both. Clean. This does leave the awkward scenario. He's gonna... Okay, well... Wow, what a play! Alright. Alright, heading in. I'm sorry. I'm fanboying a little here. Completely unbiased caster, but Neeb. Oh, God. I shouldn't have said anything. Wow, those Widow Mines hit hard. Those Widow Mines hit center mass on all the Zealots, and then the force fields are really helping ByuN more than they're helping Neeb. And the army supplies are dangerously even. Neeb doesn't have that much splash damage. ByuN has enough bio for a critical mass. He could kite down the Archons with some decent micro. I mean, it's ByuN, so... Two Colossi, though. Pony trotting their way out. Looking strong. Now, the Bio Army... ByuN has to try to maintain whatever concave he can, but... Neeb is quickly building a difficult army to beat, and ByuN doesn't have the economy to tech switch dramatically. Widow Mines, not nearly as good as that last set. Neeb pressing forward. The Archons, force field, slices things in half. One Archon down, two down. Third Archon. There's not that many gateway units, but there's no bio units, and Neeb will take it 3-0 against ByuN. What a beautiful world we're living in. Neeb does it a pretty convincing. It wasn't easy. It wasn't one-sided. But it was onside. It was Neeb. And he takes it 3-0. Defending the North American Championship. Scarlett last week. Neeb this week. Finally, the champions have returned. If you're enjoying it, well, thank you again, Dave Testa. And thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment. What do you think? Who do you want to see Neeb face next? Because he's playing in all these matches. He used to, like, honestly, last year he barely played in any of the ESL Cups. But I'm loving it. And I want to see more. What do you want to see? Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun. I'll see you next time. Check out these videos. Stay tuned.